Gugu's leap from the well-paid security of being a creative strategist to entering the uncharted waters of starting a business was driven by a vision.
Ladies, now you and I both know how difficult it can be to find well-fitted underwear. Well, Gugu Nkabinde, CEO of Gugu Intimates, has found the solution. You know that black magic thing? Well, I'm here to meet her to find out about her amazing collection and what made the internet go completely Gugu. Let's go meet her. Hello. Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
It's so lovely to meet you. I've heard so much about Gugu Intimates. I was like, I have to meet this lady. So tell me about where the dream actually started.
I never saw it as something this big, to be honest. I just needed a bra that better matched my skin tone. And fast forward to just hearing how many more women were like, yes, actually, why has nobody done that? Yeah. It just got bigger and bigger to a point where I realized I actually have a commercial concept that is based on a real consumer need.
When you were doing some research, what exactly were you looking for?
It's probably a series of incidents, but the most memorable one was presenting in a room full of people with a long boardroom table, and I'm standing at the other end. And I'm not sure why, the thought just struck me that I don't know if people can see through my shirt. And it stuck with me, and it did impact the way that I was carrying myself. And after that, I was kind of thinking about it. And because I'd layered that shirt with a vest underneath, I was hot and had to change. So I asked women after that, like, what do you do underneath your white shirt and your t-shirts? And the conversation became a comparison of stuff that we layer with. Yeah. And I thought, this is crazy. Why doesn't the underwear do what it's supposed to do?
Looking at this piece, I'm sure comfort is quite an important thing.
One of the interesting things I found was the nude underwear thing is a real thing, but there are also other things that you would like your underwear to do at the same time. And I thought, if we're going to do this thing, what else can I add to it? And the seamless and lightweight effect of the panties was like something that I obsessed about. And I know that for a lot of women, it's quite a pain in the market to find a real seamless undie. So I've spent quite a lot of time on that.
It's quite an interesting thing to have a pop-up outlet. Why did you choose a beauty salon?
So for me, it was about getting collaborations that work and collaborations that will allow a customer to experience the brand. And the Miss Salon London brand for me fascinated me as a brand owned by brown-skinned girls. And they've also seen the idea of representation within makeup. So they have quite an interesting range of makeups. And I thought, wouldn't it be nice to shop for your intimates in an intimate space where you can feel like you can actually pop into a room and fit it and there's no rush, and it's not quite that retail environment which I didn't think we were quite ready for to talk to, you know, what we're trying to do with the range.
It's one thing hearing about what you're telling me. I'd like to see it in real life with the models. You've got a photo shoot, right?
Look, I think you need to see how we cast and see how it looks on someone, and also some of the things that we're trying to bring across with the shades and the shade name.
The brand shoots with everyday women who come in all shapes and sizes under the African sun. Whether they boast stretch marks or love handles, the simplicity of the product allows their bodies to shine.
Wow, looking at the underwear on a body, it really does look comfortable.
Every woman who is not a model, who comes to shoot with us, is I make sure that I measure you and I fit you properly, because what is your cut sometimes in one underwear brand is not quite your size in our brand, and then you would think that there's something wrong with the product.
Yeah.
So I am a big advocate for comfort, and that includes getting yourself measured as often as possible.
I was just going to get to that, because you just never know whether a bra or underwear fits you the way it should. Where do you start?
One of the first things I learned, and it was quite embarrassing as an admission, is I went to get a proper underwear measurement as I started working on the product. And I realized that even myself, I was wearing the wrong size. I had gone up a band size too big. And it makes all the difference, because once I was fitted in the right bra, you don't get any of the spills. So you know how you'll find like underwear spilling over the top of the cup,
right,
which means that the underwear is actually too big, so it's wobbed over. And then you'll get the other one where your boobs are actually spilling over at the top of the cup.
So not a cleavage.
Yeah, it's no longer cleavage when it's actually got a line that's showing a bump between. That means your underwear is too small. Okay. So while we're getting you underwear that blends into your skin tone, we also want to make sure you have the most comfortable fit possible. And those are some of the telltale signs when you start bulging over in your underwear and you're spilling over in any way or form. Yeah. If it's a seamless bra, it should be that seamless.
Starting the business offered Gugu her dream job. She playfully dubs her role of CEO as Chief Experience Officer. The customer's overall experience is what she's intent on getting right.
What
trying to discover what bra size I really am. The last time I did this, I was probably 18, and I've kind of moved with the times as I've gotten slightly more mature. So, Gugu, let me know.
Okay, so first of all, what's important is you've got your underbust, which is literally the area around your rib cage where your wire would go.
The most uncomfortable part, you know that. The part where you just want to take this thing off at 6 o'clock in the evening.
And that means it's not the right size, right? And then you've got your overbust that we're also going to measure. This is like your twin peaks, where your boobs kind of like curve out the most.
Right.
So I'm going to start with the underbust, and I need you to just raise your arms slightly. Okay. So that knocks you quite finely into a 34 on a band size for me, because it's centimeters for me. And then we go over bust, where I've guessed you're a C, right?
I thought I was a B.
I look at this cup and I see a bit of a C, because I'm a B, and no, my boobs are nowhere near.
Oh my gosh, okay.
And then I've got a 90 here. So for me, I would see you going between a B and a C, depending on the cut. And I'll tell you why. It's because the support you're looking for is different.
Okay.
So with our strapless bra, I'd probably put you in a 32C, but I also encourage not just measuring, but also fitting with a bra before you leave the store. Okay. Why not if you're going to be wearing this every day, right? And then in our t-shirt bra, I'd put you in a 34B.
After surviving the 2 years in which many entrepreneurs sink, this lady is clearly swimming.
So I believe you have, pop-up stores around the country, but you also have an online store. Tell me about how people can access this product.
So the thing about being a small entrepreneur is that you have to allow people to buy and shop even before you can build up your stores. So we have guguintimates.com that you go on, and from here you already can view the range. And I think ideally the basic information you need to have is your bra size measurement, your most recent bra size measurement to shop. But other than that, I think what we try to do is use everyday women in as many skin tones as possible, so that you can also see and be like, you see, I'm that shade. What shade is she wearing? And we've matched the models to make that easy for customers to shop.
So do you have a different name for different pieces?
We have a different name for different shades. I think for me, the primary business that I'm in is in this story of skin tones. And it was interesting for me to look at what the convention was in the market, where everyone was calling shades by food, like coffee, caramel. And I just thought there's such a missed opportunity for my brand to tell a story about being beautiful in your skin tone. And I chose the word beauty or beautiful in different African languages, because all these brown skin tones that I am creating a product for are all over the continent. So we've got Runako, which is Shona for beauty. We've got Amara, which is Arabic, spoken in some African languages.
Amara.
Most women would like to think we're Amara. Even I thought I was Amara, but you're probably more Runako if you look at how that shade of brown
just goes on. But I'm light in this area.
We'll have a quick look. But this is Buhle.
That is gorgeous.
Which is obviously coming from South African origin. And this is one of our new shades coming up. So we're introducing darker shades as we go on, and we've already prototyped them. And we've got 2 new shades. One will be called Fefe, which is beauty in Ghanaian. So the idea is to extend the range to be the most representative line of nude undergarments on the continent and in the world.
I love that. Well, onwards and upwards.
International interest now sees Gugu's Intimates sold through a concept store in New York, and she recently launched in Zimbabwe. With orders and inquiries coming in from Kenya, they're looking to open there soon, and they're online wherever you are.